Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Kamal's Biology. Today I am going to talk about very important topic, cell membrane. So please stay with me till the end of the video. So friends, let's begin our topic. Okay friends, look at the diagram. You can see two phospholipid layer. This is the first outer phospholipid layer and this is the second phospholipid layer. So according to fluid mosaic model, cell membrane is made from phospholipid bilayer. This is cell membrane is made from phospholipid bilayer. In the cell membrane, there are many proteins that are floating like icebox in the ocean. So it got the name fluid mosaic model. Okay, the different types of proteins that are present in the cell membrane are peripheral membrane protein, loosely attached with the surface of the cell membrane, and integral membrane proteins. This one is called transmembrane protein. This is an integral protein, but it is named as transmembrane protein because it has crossed the inner and outer membrane of phospholipid bilayer. But this one has not crossed from outer to inner phospholipid layer. Okay, it is integral protein, but this has reached up to the intermembrane space, but it has not crossed from one layer to another layer. Okay, this one. So this one is transmembrane protein. You can see another protein channels. You can find the channel, and the name of the protein is protein channel. Okay, and these are the, I have already told you, phospholipid bilayer. You can see glycoprotein. This is called glycoprotein because this is a protein part and this is a carbohydrate part. Protein plus carbohydrate, glycoprotein. Okay, but this carbohydrate is attached with the lipid part, so it is called glycoprotein. So these are the important components that are present in the cell membrane according to fluid mosaic model. This model is very important and you will be asked in the exam to draw the structure of the cell membrane and different components. Now, what is cell membrane? You can easily explain that. Cell membrane is also known as plasma membrane, that is made from phospholipid bilayer, and we can find different types of proteins. For example, integral proteins, peripheral proteins, transmembrane proteins, channel proteins. They are floating in the cell membrane like icebox in the ocean. And from protein part, carbohydrate branches are coming, and they are known as glycoprotein. And from the lipid part, some branch like structures are coming from the surface. They are called glycolipids. So these are the different components, and I have already told you. Let me highlight the point here. Look, this one is phospholipid component, cholesterol, integral proteins, peripheral proteins, and carbohydrate. Now in exam you should explain what is the importance of phospholipid, what is the importance of cholesterol, functions of integral proteins, peripheral proteins, and carbohydrates. Now you can see the phospholipids. Phospholipids has a hydrophilic part and hydrophobic part. Remember the point, the head portion which contains the phosphate group is hydrophilic, water loving, so it faces at the outer side, outer part, so that it can interact with water. But at the middle, the tail portion is hydrophobic, so it is facing towards the inner part. So both head portions are facing at the outer part, outer side, because they are hydrophilic. But the tails are facing at the same side. Same side means two tails of the phospholipids in the membrane structure, they are facing towards each other and they are making the intermembrane space, and they are hydrophobic, so they do not allow water to pass from the intermembrane space easily. Okay, they are shielded from the surrounding water. So you have to note that point. Now, different types of proteins, and I have already mentioned that there are different types of protein. One is integral and peripheral protein. So integral membrane proteins are integrated into the membrane. They have at least one hydrophobic region that anchor them to the hydrophobic core of the phospholipid bilayer. It means they must have hydrophobic regions. Why? Because they should go and penetrate the intermembrane space. They have to reach there, and intermembrane space is hydrophobic because it has a fatty acid tail. And there is another integral protein. That protein extend all the way across the membrane, from one membrane to another membrane. So that the name of that integral protein is transmembrane protein, as I have already told you. Okay, the portion of an integral protein found inside the membrane are hydrophobic. So when that the protein part is hydrophobic, then they can easily find the space at the hydrophobic intermembrane space. Now, another protein that we can find is peripheral membrane protein. Okay, they are found on the outer side and inside surface of membrane attached either to integral proteins or to the phospholipids. But unlike integral membrane proteins, peripheral membrane proteins do not stick into the hydrophobic core of the membrane, and they tend to be very loosely attached. So peripheral protein is loosely attached at the surface. Now you can see different types of proteins. Look here. This is single pass integral protein. This is multiple pass integral protein, monotropic protein, and extrinsic proteins, means that is at the outer part, loosely attached. Now you may ask me the questions: what are the functions of different types of proteins that are found in the cell membrane? So you can find their examples: receptor, enzymes, channels, gated channels, cell identity maker, cell adhesion molecules, CAM. Okay, these are the different membrane proteins, and they have various types of functions that you can read from this slide. Okay, so now you know about the phospholipid. Okay, phospholipid's head is hydrophilic and the tail is hydrophobic. You know about different types of membrane proteins that are present in cell membrane. Now you have to know that there is a carbohydrate component. Okay, and that carbohydrate component is mixed with either protein or lipids. If the carbohydrate is bound with protein, then it forms glycoprotein, and if it is bound with lipid, then it forms glycolipids. We have to know that, and these are very important in the immune system because that allow immune cells to differentiate between body cells which they should attack and foreign cells or tissue should be removed. So you can find that they act as a receptors for various types of signaling molecules. Okay, they also help in signal transmission. Now the very important part from where you will be asked question about the membrane fluidity. Let me highlight this one. Okay, very important, membrane fluidity. Okay, so what is the main factor? The main factors which maintains the membrane fluidity. Now imagine in a cell membrane you can find phospholipid, membrane protein, cholesterol, glycoprotein, glycolipid. So what things will support the maintenance of fluidity of the membrane? Now, fluidity of membrane, let me tell you, increases with the increase in temperature, and fluidity of the membrane will decrease when the temperature becomes cold. But cell should adjust its fluidity. The fluidity of the cell membrane should not be increased too much, or they should not be so crystallized. They should not, that fluidity should not be destroyed in cold temperature. So what is the key substances? What is the key components that has to maintain the fluidity? Okay, let me tell you. So phospholipids, there are two types of phospholipids. One is saturated phospholipid, another is unsaturated phospholipid. So saturated phospholipids have tail very smooth. Okay, that is not bent like unsaturated fatty acids. The tail of unsaturated fatty acids is bending like this. Okay, so phospholipids having double bond at multiple sides, they will form the bendings at various points, so that two phospholipids are arranged at longer distance. They are not closely packed. They are not closely packed like in case of saturated fatty acid. So we should know that if there is higher amount of unsaturated fatty acids, then the fluidity of membrane increases, and if there is higher amount of saturated fatty acids, fluidity of membrane decreases. So in high temperature, microorganisms which should live there in high temperature, okay, they should increase the saturated fatty acid. But in case of cold environment, animals which live in cold environment, they increase the concentration of unsaturated fatty acids, so that the fluidity of membrane will be maintained, because the unsaturated fatty acid will has a tail, okay, that is bent. As a result, the phospholipids will manage to keep the distance, increase the distance. They will not come so close to each other, so that they will be compact and the fluidity of membrane decreases. So you should know, in the maintenance of membrane fluidity, saturated and unsaturated fatty acids has a very significant role. Now, another very important role is played by the cholesterol. This cholesterol acts like a buffer. It decreases the fluidity of membrane in higher temperature, because it do not allow the phospholipid to go away from each other, and in cold temperature it will again not allow phospholipids to come more closer and supports the fluidity of the membrane. It maintains the fluidity of the membrane. Let me explain with this diagram. Okay. Now more fluid, lower melting point. So you can see the unsaturated fatty acid here. So unsaturated fatty acid makes more fluid. The cell membrane more fluid. It increases the fluidity of the membrane. And this is unsaturated fatty acids. So it makes the cell membrane less fluid. Look here. Now you can see chains. Okay, you can see here the branch chains. These are also increasing the fluidity of the membrane. So unsaturated fatty acids and branched chains will increase the fluidity of the membrane. But saturated, when the fatty acids are saturated fatty acids, they will make the cell membrane less fluid in nature. Okay, you can see the role. You can see the role of cholesterol here. Okay, cholesterol is amphipathic molecule, so it has hydroxyl group which is hydrophilic. Okay, and it also has a hydrophobic portion, the tail part, small tail part. You can see the cholesterol here. Look here, it is making gap between two phospholipid layer. It will not allow these phospholipids to come and remain close to each other. Okay, during high temperature. Also, it will not allow this phospholipid to go more. It will not allow phospholipid to go away from another phospholipid in higher temperature, neither in lower temperature. So this cholesterol acts like a buffer. A slight change in temperature will be checked and balanced by the cholesterol. Now cholesterol fluidity buffer. Look here, cholesterol disrupts close packing of acyl chains, increase fluidity. Okay, cholesterol constant motions of acyl chains decrease fluidity. So it acts like a buffer. Look here, cholesterol. It will not allow these molecules to come together. Also, it will not allow these molecules to go away from this molecule. This cholesterol will check here, and this cholesterol will also, now it will not allow this part also to go away from each other. So it acts like a buffer. So membrane fluidity depends on temperature, saturated and unsaturated fatty acids. It means more unsaturated fatty acid leads to more fluidity, and more cholesterol stiffens membrane by filling in gaps between P lipids, phospholipids, decreasing fluidity. So fluidity will be decreased when phospholipids. You can see here. Okay, but the role of phospholipids is to maintain the fluidity. It will not allow fluidity to be increased than it is required, nor it will allow the fluidity to decrease more than the requirement. So here are the points: fluidity, rotational movement, lateral diffusion within the lipid layer. So you can this is the point that I have given so that you can understand better about the fluidity of the membrane. So the length of the fatty acid, number of double bonds, proportion of cholesterol, these are the factors that affect the fluidity of the membrane. Okay, look here, micrococcus enzyme causes 2 carbons of the 18 carbon fatty acid to produce 16 carbon fatty acids in cold temperature. Okay, cold temperature, it means enzyme will cut 2 carbon of 80 carbon fatty acids to 60 carbon fatty acid in cold temperature. It will make the fatty acid chain shorter. Again, in case of E. coli, it increases the number of double bonds in cold temperature. When double bond is increased, fluidity will be also increased. Okay. Now lipid mobility. Mobility. Now you have to know that what is fluidity and what is mobility. Mobility means, look here, this phospholipid can rotate. These phospholipids can undergo lateral movement. Okay, and it can also flip-flop. This is called mobility. It can move across the space between each other like this, flipping, lateral movement, rotation. This is called mobility. So cell membrane is dynamic. Okay, dynamic means what? It can change from one state to another state. Means there is a movement. One the phospholipid can move from outer to inner part, also from inner to outer layer, from inner layer to outer layer of phospholipid, and outer phospholipid layer to inner phospholipid layer. And it can also rotate here like this. It can also have lateral movement. So it is a dynamic property. Also, you can see here, saturated hydrocarbons make it viscous, and presence of, look here, the bending of unsaturated fatty acid will make it more fluid in nature. So fluidity can be also maintained by this cell membrane. Cell membrane can maintain fluidity, as well as this phospholipid bilayer is mobile. Because of that reason, cell membrane is dynamic structure. Look here, rotation, lateral diffusion, vertical vibration, protrusion, stretching, bending fluctuation, compression, thickness fluctuations. It is like a moving water. It is like a water in the ocean, moving up and down. So cell membrane is dynamic in nature. Don't forget this. So the dynamic properties of the plasma membrane supports in various activities of the cell membrane. So in exam, you will be asked, cell membrane is dynamic. Why? What are the factors, components that maintains the membrane fluidity? Okay. What is lipid raft? This will be explained in next presentation. So name different types of protein in the cell membrane and their function. What is the role of cholesterol? It is a buffer of the cell membrane. Buffer means what? It has to maintain the fluidity at cold or at high temperature. So what is the role of unsaturated and saturated fatty acids in the maintenance of fluidity of the membrane? And what is the difference between membrane mobility and membrane fluidity? Mobility and fluidity, I have already explained. Go through the slide and you can find the answer there. Okay, this much for today. Bye bye. Thank you.